I'm making plays. I'm making hits. I'm making plays. I never miss. Haters gon' hate. Yeah, they gon' hate. But look at the clips. Just look at the clips. At the end of the day, I was made for this shit. Dog, I was made for this shit. Nothing but green grass in my view. Hit him for 50 yards up the middle. All of my rushes are ready to move. Tell your quarterback, head on the swivel. Came all this way, so we hungry as hell. If we ain't winning, we ain't leaving the field. Overtime, now the shit getting real. Double overtime, shoot for the kill. I put it all on my shoulders. Give 100 till it's over. All of this ice in my veins. Tell me, how could there be anyone colder?
What is up, Chiefs Kingdom? Welcome to Arrowhead PM, powered by Chiefs Kingdom. I'm your host, Dominic Mulliner. We got DG in the house. We got Trizzy in the house. And we got Corey in the house. That is also a television show. But
Corey, that's crazy.
Yeah, dude. So we are going to talk about the Bills game and that we're 9-1. And then we're going to go into the Panthers game preview. And, you know, we might have a little bit of venting. We might have a little bit of introspection. I think the theme of today is looking into what we got. Okay, D-Mac. Fine. I'm ugly. You got it. I appreciate it, D-Mac. We love you, man. Shout out to Tell the Truth.
Shout out to Tell the Truth. Shout out Kingdom Cast.
Hell yeah, man. But yeah, let's just jump into the Bills game. So we are 9-1. We lost 30-21. My initial thoughts are we could have afforded the loss. It does suck that it was against the Bills, but also kind of the play calling and the defensive scheme kind of felt so vanilla and kind of off the game a little bit. But what it did show was a lot of glaring issues that we and other outlets have been saying. And I think, you know, it's been able to help us be introspective and to, like Patrick Mahomes said, yes, we lost, but it'll help us grow as a team to get better and move forward. So that's my initial thoughts. What do you guys think?
I mean, I wasn't with the crowd with agree with losing to the Bills. And here's why. I feel like, throughout the years, we'll be able to beat Cincinnati with the last minute stuff and, stuff went our way. I thought we were better that game. I thought Cincinnati just, took advantage of, the weaknesses that were being apparent, from the jump. And we all didn't plan on or banking on Jalen Watson being, out of the lineup and dealing with the injury he's dealing with. Unfortunate, that's a part of football. So I do think that, let me say this. We have the guys in the building to make it work healthy for sure. When you go into any type of season and you don't have the guys there who put your plan in motion and you start to shuffle out guys, again, what every football team is dealing with. But in particular, when you go out and the way that we were struggling last year on offense, I felt like the problem solver was, okay, let's fix the receiver room. We know we're not going to have Snead back. We're not going to be as good in the secondary, but we were wrong about that before the Jalen Watson injury. So from this game, the concerns about it's more so about the communication and the calls than we can't be in situations that we were last year because we don't have the same type of guys. Calling all out blitzes, leaving guys on islands with high level receivers. We don't have that in the building. And when you have to do that in certain situations, because we're not getting the pressure that we got, we're not getting the sacks that we had from last year. And I feel like we have to be able to turn the page. Obviously, we get healthier with Charles Omenihu. We still five fucking snaps from Josh Uche. That's very frustrating. Like, understand that he doesn't know the playbook as well as maybe a Mike Dana does or FAU does. And FAU's been playing well when he's been asked upon. But you traded for Uche for a reason. So go out and get this guy reps. Let him get comfortable next to Chris Jones. Let him get comfortable next to a George Kalafdis. Let him get comfortable next to Trayshawn and those boys, so he get a feel, so he know what to do, so he know how to turn, so he know how to attack. We're not even giving them that opportunities. So it's just frustrating to like see them leave the food on the table. I know that we wasn't playing the game like we want to, but the Xavier Worthy stuff and the turnovers from Pat just been too consistent. Like I just want to see the guys turn the page, and we just haven't done it yet. And this game is a prime example of the concerns that boil us with the left tackle from the corner, to the inconsistency at giving Kareem Hunt ball to 27 times for the last 2 weeks, and then he don't barely touch the ball. Like we got to be better than that, especially during these late times of the year, because we almost walking into January. It's almost December. We got to pick it up.
Yeah, obviously tough loss. You know, go through the whole season being 9-0 and figuring out ways to win, and this is just one of them days. I feel like you just didn't figure out a way. You know, I don't think that this is a reflection of what this team really is at this point. I still think that they got everything that they want in front of them. And
Absolutely.
sometimes, bro, you lose. You have bad
Yeah.
games. This was a bad day for them. Execution wise, I think a little bit of play calling wise as well too. Preparation or whatever. It's just kind of off. Um, I felt like the offensively, I think we did some good things, and then I think we did some bad things in this game as well. I think
Absolutely.
the offensive line played serviceably. Could they have been better? Yes, especially from the tackles
That
position.
is a turn. That's a
Yeah,
new turn.
but I think right now, I think the main issue, especially with the offense, is kind of a combination of things from how the line is kind of playing to receivers kind of not executing at certain points when we really need them to. Getting separation is one of those things that they kind of had some issues with, and then taking play just the same thing kind of issues that we were kind of having last year as far as like what roles, who's doing what, who's this guy on this down or whatever. I think that kind of showed a little bit in this game. Um, you know, I feel like this was a game you probably should have played DeAndre Hopkins a little bit more. Uh,
Yeah.
some crucial third downs. There were some third downs that he wasn't in there. I think especially when you get into third and long and you kind of need an opportunity to kind of make a play or something, throw it down the field or whatever sometimes. But yeah, they're just like Treasy said, they're not offensively. They're not that team anymore that can overcome 3rd and 16, 3rd and 14, and stay behind the sticks and long ball. It doesn't work like that. They constantly have to stay ahead of the sticks, stay in third and manageables. I feel like that's when this offense operates better. That's really when any offense operates better because no offense really wants to be in third and long. But with Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback, previously years you could kind of get away with some of those things because of how talented he is and how well the line used to be and stuff like that. So it's not the same anymore. Defensively, I feel like it's kind of the same thing as well too. You lost some guys from last year that you were able to do a little bit different things last year. I think it kind of had been working up until this point, the blitzing stuff like that, and then it kind of reared its ugly head as you obviously don't have the same guys and when you get into a different matchup. I said it last week, man. When you play a guy like Josh Allen, man, you gotta bring your A game because he's
Absolutely.
gonna bring it for sure, especially when he plays you or whatever. He's very special talent. In my opinion, like I said all the time, next to
Special play.
Patrick Mahomes, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And he's so dangerous, especially when he's able to use his legs and
Yeah.
extend plays and nature.
He's
So
an alien. He's an alien.
defensively, this was one of those games where I felt like the defensive line really kind of cost you the game. Their performance, in my opinion,
Agree.
wasn't up to par. The rush lane integrity was horrible. I felt like George Karlaftis didn't really play a great game. Was getting way too far up the field at points in times, and then spinning back into the pocket, trying to sag Josh Allen when you know, like, just keep him contained.
Yeah.
Keep him in the pocket. Don't allow him to extend plays. Make him beat you with his arm. You pick your poison in this type of game. So I just felt like the Chiefs picked the wrong poison and they lost. You
Yeah.
know, and it is what it is, man. So gotta move on. Gotta eat it up. Watch the film. Move on to next week and go beat the dog piss out the Panthers.
I've said it week after week, and I kept getting pushback for it, but I got tired of hearing that we're doing just enough to win. Well, that only works until it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
Anytime you keep leaving games close, then leaving it within one possession, there's a chance that score could flip-flop at the end of the game, and you don't have time to do anything about it. And that's what we saw. I don't like that we play such a bland offense from the second quarter to the fourth quarter. I don't know how many games we've seen this season to where we didn't score the second and third quarters, but then when we needed to in the fourth quarter, we picked it up and put together a drive. Why don't we do that all game? Why don't we feature our weapons more? We saw, I think, between the second and about halfway through the fourth quarter, between D-Hop and Kelsey, they each only had one touch, and Kareem Hunt had 5 touches. That is not enough. I mean, you're not going to win not getting your playmakers the ball. I mean, you got to get them touches, even if they're manufactured touches, to keep them in rhythm. We emphasized getting Worthy the ball earlier, and it worked. And then after the out of bounds, I don't remember seeing him back on the field. I know he didn't have any touches after that. You got to get the playmakers the ball, and we know that we can do it. We see it when we're down and we have to get a game-winning drive. We've done it like 3 or 4 games this season. It looked like we moved the ball with ease, and we're like, well, where was that all game? I think it's kind of with the scripting. I mean, we need to be more aggressive as an offense. We need to push the ball downfield. I'm getting tired of seeing these 3rd and 8, 3rd and 10s, and we run some little dump-off screen pass that hasn't worked all season. Push the ball downfield. You've got D-Hop, you've got Worthy, you've got Kelsey, you've got Gray. You've got weapons that can push the ball down the field. And like that 3rd and 1, tried that little rollout pass, didn't work. Just run the ball. Like, Hunt's averaging 4 yards a carry. Hand him the ball. Hand him it twice if you have to. I don't think it's the talent on the field. It's something in the play calling that we don't see developing into the second and third quarter. But then when we need to, we see it again. Why not just be aggressive all game? Why not go out, try to put up 35 points, keep pushing the ball down the field, maintain a lead for once? I just don't like the way we're scheming up games. And we're putting too much. I know that we're saying that the defense has been holding us together all year. I don't know how many times the defense has gotten stopped in the fourth quarter when we needed to. Baltimore game, Cincy game. Every big game, they've stepped up. And the whole bend but don't break, eventually they're going to break. They're tired. You could tell they were tired. They didn't even want to tackle Allen on that last drive. We've been putting this whole season like we did last season is the defense will hold up. The defense will hold up. They're getting worn down. We're lacking Willie Gay in the second and in the linebacker core. Yes, he was more of like I would say he was more of a role player, but we definitely see it when we play against somebody like Lamar Jackson and somebody like Josh Allen. His sideline-to-sideline speed, his ability to limit their big plays with their legs. That's kind of what we're missing. Drew Tranquill hasn't really kind of played up to par to what he did last year. And I think that was also a benefactor of having Willie Gay. 2 athletic linebackers and a run stopper. They were able to play off of each other. Chenault, he's like Bolton. He's a straightforward guy. He doesn't give you that athleticism sideline to sideline. And I think that's what we're missing. We're seeing that secondary. We always had Snead over there. So a team could switch their number one away from McDuffie. And then Watson held up. Losing him, that kind of hurt. We didn't play a very good situational game. We knew that we were depleted in the secondary. We knew they've been beat down. They're worn down. They've had injuries. We should not have put that game up to them. The defense, we had 3 drives in a row where we were down by 2 points, and we ran out of bland offense, didn't get a first down, punted it right back to them. Eventually, Buffalo is going to score. A good team is going to score. You give them 4 possessions up by 2 points, they're going to score. And that's what we saw. I mean, it starts with the offense. You got to get that rolling. I think we need to go to more of a downfield offense again instead of this little dink and dunk. We've got the weapons to do it now, to take care of the find spaces in zone. D-Hop can win against man. Rice can win against, or Worthy can win against man off the line. We're going to get Hollywood back. So it's going to start with the offense and being more aggressive.
I 100% agree with all of what you said. And I think the main thing is like not getting Kelsey as involved and not getting D-Hop involved was kind of weird. Or, I mean, I know Kelsey had 4 targets. Let that sink in. He only had 4 targets. The previous 3 games, he was leading the league in receptions and catches. He was becoming a huge factor in games. And D-Hop was a huge factor in games, even when he wasn't giving the production like he did against Tampa Bay. This game, it just felt weird. It felt like a weird game plan. And then the left tackle problem kept rearing its ugly head again. With poor, like they know it's a problem, and it's like Andy and the scheming and Matt Nagy, they're not like trying to address the problem at all. And like you even like Carson Steele, I'm just going to be, I was really high on him, but now that Pacheco's on his way back, I am glad he is not going to be a pass protecting running back because he misses every assignment when it comes to pass protection for Mahomes for the chip blocks. So, and it happened this game too, happened against the Broncos game. He's just not a great pass coverage not linebacker, like a pass protecting running back. Man, goddamn, I'm having a rough day today.
He doesn't have the vision. He doesn't have. It's not that he's just missing the blocks and just whipping on them. He's not seeing them coming. He'll be standing and he'll fade to the left side, and here comes the pressure to the right side. He doesn't have the vision to be able to break down while the play is going on and see where the pressure is developing from. And that's where McKinnon was so good. He would sit right in front of Mahomes. He would wait until he saw where it was coming from, and then you'd see him shoot to the left or right to pick up the blitzer. Steele just doesn't have that. He'll just stay there and kind of drift. Next thing you know, somebody's hitting Mahomes, and he's turning around like, oh, damn. It's like you cannot have that.
And I think another thing is just like that first quarter when Xavier Worthy and Mahomes had just such a good connection and everything was clicking, that 31-yard pass, which I'm going to show soon, and the touchdown, it just was like, man, Xavier Worthy's really trying to step up. This is the potential we saw. And then we're going to play this clip soon too. But when he couldn't drag the feet right, because and I'll bring it up right now. When that connection happened and Xavier Worthy didn't have his feet in, that honestly killed all the momentum. And I don't think Worthy even got a single target after that moment. And I don't know if that has to do with the defense by the Bills or if it just so happened to end up that way. The missed opportunity, right? So this was right after the Bills scored, I believe. So it is, I think it's either 7-6 or 13-7. But this is the moment that happens. This is this would have been a 40-yard completion.
And you scored. We got the ball back after this.
Yeah. Okay.
The good part about all this is that you love the play design and what they wanted to do. They got exactly what they wanted. Cole Hartman being in the backfield kind of gives the defense a little bit something to think about. Obviously, they know they're not gonna hand it off, so you kind of wondering what's gonna happen. But the play action into this, I think, kind of catches the Bills safeties off guard a little bit, and gets them looking into the backfield somewhat. And
Yeah, can you zoom in on that a little
it
bit?
kind of gives Xavier a
I
little
wish
bit
I
of time
could, Drizzy.
to get open at this point.
Yeah.
You know, the good thing about it, everybody keeps talking about the downside of it. The good part about it is, compared to last season,
Go back to that shot right there.
he's getting consistent separation downfield, which we didn't see last year a lot of. B,
Yeah.
he's catching everything that's hitting his hands. Regardless if he's going out of bounds, he's catching it. So there's room to work on it. With the drop issues, that's something that's hard to fix. Him, it's just boundary awareness, which is something that's easily fixable.
Yeah.
Yeah, but going back to
The separation in the hands are there.
going back to the play call. I mean, if we could start it from the beginning. I mean, so this is after we got the ball back. This is after a punt. Um, first of all, like DG said, so pause it right there. All right, so what was killing us at first was why Xavier Worthy was working so good is because Buffalo was playing more men than we expected from the jump. So after they scored, and then we came down and scored, I think they punted the ball, and then this is like their second down or what is that, third?
This was first down, actually.
Yeah, this is first down. This is after the
So they're
punt.
getting real aggressive as soon as they get the ball back.
And I love the play call. You bring the motion, and then also like the offensive line was struggling, but this is just the perfect job right here. Like you gave them just to run enough time, float a pocket, let Pat get back there, and then that's why like Pat is holding the ball too long too, even though that should have been a completion, obviously. But I mean, you can see Worthy breaking out from the bottom of the screen. Like that ball needs to be going while he's breaking. He hit in the corner, boom, that ball should have been gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I know
100%.
they're gonna work on those type of things, but I mean, it's the perfect play call. You continue to play man to man. Andy Reid find you sleeping. I don't agree that we haven't been good situationally. I agree that we haven't executed well, and you got what you wanted. You got the defense off guard. Got Pat rolling. Let him launch it. He's wide open, and we just got to take advantage of the moment, which we will downfield. But I mean, I love the play call. I love the moment. Understanding the moment. Andy Reid's so good at that, man. Like he understood the moment. Just poor execution.
100%. And it's like, I felt like that sapped away all the energy we had, especially like considering what happened before then. We get the touch. So what happened is that we touchdown with Xavier Worthy, and then they came back with another James Cook touchdown, and that's when they did this play. So they were trying to be aggressive, match the points with Buffalo. So you could tell that like what you said, Corey, like that was a play call where it's like, okay, we want to get points, we want to be aggressive, and it ends up not working out, and that becomes a 3 and out, and they punt the ball. Just missed opportunities. And also like this, so it's only a 16-14 lead for the Buffalo Bills by halftime. Buffalo gets the ball back. The first 2 drives for the Buffalo Bills, punt, punt. What do the Chiefs do? Punt, punt. They do not take advantage. So the defense shows up.
I had a bad feeling after that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's when you kind of realize that the game wasn't probably gonna go in your favor.
And that's when you get frustrated because then the fourth quarter hits and you need a score, and they move the ball with ease.
5-minute drive.
That I ain't gonna lie. Like when the fourth quarter drive to go score, you were happy to see it, but it also kind of pissed you off because you like, where's that sense of urgency in the third quarter?
Every day.
Every drive when you need to actually go make a drive. And I'm glad they were able to respond, because that's what you want to see, especially when you go down 9 or whatever. Now you gotta score. You don't have no choice, but I just felt like that lack of urgency wasn't there in the third quarter. I think they got a little bit away from the run game, especially in the third quarter, which was kind of frustrating as well, too, because this was a Buffalo defense that I felt like you can run the ball on them. And you've seen Kareem Hunt has some really good carries.
And we just didn't
Pro-
give him the ball.
yeah, it's just the emphasis of giving them ball. I think Andy. I know that they get to these points where they like to hold stuff back, in
This
case
felt like
I
the
guess
most hold back game ever.
yeah, you see, I know people, outside people will look at that and probably say, oh, you guys are just making excuses or whatever. But clearly, as fans, when we watch, them week in and week out, we can see when they're being aggressive and when they're not trying to be as aggressive or show, everything that they have. And I think this was kind of one of those games where you saw like, are they really holding things back? Are they kind of scaling, just to so they don't put a whole bunch on tape or whatever? And I get it, but this is also to me a chance and an opportunity for you to secure that one seed and lock that in. And now I think you put more pressure
Pressure.
on yourself
Yo,
to now have to basically continue to win as you go on. You leave your, like Corey was saying, I think the other day in the space, like your margin for error becomes thinner, and now it becomes to a point where like you got to beat the Panthers this week now. Like you got to go down here and win beat these teams, especially these bad teams, and you're gonna get every team's best game. So
You know, and earlier in the season, we were looking at the back end of the schedule like, oh, it's not too bad. But now you've got the Broncos playing good. Now you've got the Chargers playing good. Those games look a little bit tougher than they did to begin with, especially when they both played us close already this season.
yeah,
So,
Right.
Chargers didn't have some people too.
yeah.
yeah,
But now, fuck the Chargers, fuck the Broncos, fuck all the ops. I just want y'all to know.
For
But
sure.
the worst part about that is that Kareem Hunt had two of his longest runs for the season. I think one of like 24 yards and one of 15 yards. And then we stopped giving it to him. He was gashing them. Like he was starting to look like the old Kareem Hunt. And then all of a sudden, yeah, like you good. You got a couple big runs. Go sit on the bench. We got this.
Well, I felt
Kareem's
like, oh, sorry,
like
Trevor.
that. Go ahead. Mike, go ahead.
I felt like also what was lacking in the game plan was like running backs in the passing game. Like, I guess after seeing Kareem Hunt being such a weapon through the pass game last week against the Broncos, you would think, okay, let's try to incorporate that more. I mean, but I don't know. It just seemed like a paint by numbers kind of game plan. Like DG said, it felt like they're holding back stuff because it's against the Bills. And I know, like, when it comes to preparation for a lot of these teams, when they look at the tape, they look at their previous matchup that they had against their opponent, and then they look at how the team currently has been playing, right? So it's like, why would I get it? But at the same time, it's like locking up the one seed and basically being able to afford, like, later maybe afford a couple losses. Being undefeated was a nice thought, but it wasn't realistic, especially for how this team has been failing to execute at certain moments. Honestly, it wasn't. But I mean, they're capable. They were capable, and even in this game, there were flashes of like, okay, I think they're gonna pull it out. But then, I feel like the second half when they start off with two, after they force 2 3-and-outs, we get 2 punts. Then it's just like you're just giving them the opportunity to close the game away. It was just really frustrating, and you kind of wish that against a team like Buffalo, which, historically, recently, they have been beating us in the regular season, and then the Chiefs have been beating them in the postseason. And that's always the argument, right? Oh, you beat us when, good regular season, you won your Super Bowl, quote unquote, for the year. And then when you play us for real, you lose. I'll be the first to say that's not going to always happen. And like, it's not going to be always Chiefs are going to beat the Bills in the playoffs. Like, they're too good of a team, especially this year. Josh Allen's playing the best football of his career, I feel like. And that wasn't even Josh Allen and the Bills with their full weapon.
Wait. I don't know. What are you saying to me right now? I'm not Patrick Mahomes' record playoffs is 15-3. Josh Allen's record.
No, I'm not saying, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, like, we're not always going to beat the Bills, and they're playing the best that they've played. I'm not saying that Josh, like playoff wise, is up to the
saying
level.
there's always an opportunity and a chance for you to lose. That's
Right.
in every
It's an
every game.
opportunity. It's a
It's an
chance. Okay.
opportunity. He's not saying that we.
I'm not saying it's happening. I'm just
Yeah.
saying
Okay,
we
I had to
can't
poke
keep,
you in.
like
If you
Corey said, we can't
execute
keep.
at this level and
Because I
play the
was
way
gonna
you
say
play
that.
this game, then and when you get to January, you could lose.
Oh
You know?
Yeah,
yeah.
It's a hypothetical, Trizzy. I'm giving hypotheticals, not reality.
this is
I
what
I
promise
ain't
you.
like
I promise you.
I ain't like where we was going. I had to break it up.
Nah, you.
this is
I
what I'll say
understand,
about
Trizzy.
this
I
is
got a
what
little
I'll say
scared myself.
this is what I'll say about Josh Allen, his development right now. Do you guys remember when Mahomes lost Tyreek Hill? And Mahomes had to go through that growth about learning how to play with lesser weapons, learning how to take checkdowns, take what's open. That's what Josh Allen's gone through, and I think we are seeing a better version of Josh Allen now that Diggs is gone, and he's got not just one guy to focus in on like Mahomes had. He's going through progressions. He's making tight window throws. He's pulling it down and running when he needs to and not every other down now. We're
He
kind
has Amari Cooper. What are you talking about?
well, that's still not Diggs, though.
Okay.
It's even before they got Cooper, he was still having statistically the best season of his career before they got Cooper. And I think it's kind of the same thing that Mahomes went through with that growth curve where
He got cool.
yeah, he had to learn to play with what he had. And he had to learn to play inside himself and inside his own skill set. And I think that's why we are seeing a little bit better version of Josh Allen this season, kind of the same as the growth Mahomes had when he lost Tyreek.
Yeah, he's all right.
I don't think it's the level of what. It's not definitely not the level of what Mahomes put out the year after, clearly, because his yards are down and he still had that 9 for 30 game. We can't forget that. That happened this year. I think that gets dusted off. But I mean, it's just
I don't like all the gassing of the Bills, so I'm gonna go ahead and break it all up, boys. The Bills party's been
okay.
fun. Welcome back to Cheese Kingdom, boys. Yeah, it was a good game from the Bills. They won. I'm not the do the regular season dance and just automatically think we're gonna win in the playoffs. No, but this team will be differently constructed. We will be attacking things a lot differently on both sides of the ball. We'll have some guys back in the room who's going to be able to contribute to a team effort. And we'll see, who's the better, team that time when that time comes. But until they can get it done, we're gonna dunk on them in the playoffs. I'm not worried about it. Hollywood Brown, talk to me. Charles Minute, who talk to me. Isaiah Pacheco, talk to me. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
Jalen Watson, talk to me. All right, we're back. All right, we're back on track. Let's go.
All right. Thanks for bringing us back, Trizzy. I almost got lost in the Niagara weather,
Yeah, nah. I'll pull you out, brother.
Thank you, brother. Sometimes I need that. Let's look forward to the Panthers game.
We had ready to jump through a table.
The Panthers game. So the Chiefs are favored by 10.5. Obviously. Panthers are on a 2-game winning streak, which is way better than what they've done for the past forever. Ago.
We dunking on them niggas. Okay.
So
like that. My bad.
no, it's okay. I get it. I feel like this is kind of a as Nick Wright would put it, better than a bye, which they get to work on what they could have done and executed better. They take on an opponent that is lesser, and though it could end up being a cover by the Panthers, if we execute the way that we want to and have that continuity and get Xavier Worthy going and get D-Hop going, get Travis going, and let the defense be able to figure out how to get consistent pressure, especially against a team that is giving up the most points in the NFL, 31 points a game. I feel like 30 points is definitely doable for us this week. I feel like this is going to be a get right game. Then we take on the Raiders, and then it gets real again, because that's the next stretch after that. These next 2 games, we got Chargers, Browns, yeah, but then you got Texans, Steelers, and the Broncos. So I feel like these next 2 weeks lets us get that continuity back. Let them look at what they failed on some things to do in the beginning of the season and be able to just hammer home, be aggressive, and let Mahomes cook. Just let him be free and not have to worry about it. I know it's going to take some time, but this is definitely a get right game. I know they're going to cover. I know they're going to cover that. It's going to happen.
Point game. I need to see this offense get rolling going into the teeth of the season. I mean, after this, we're going to have like a 4-week stretch of the Raiders, Chargers, Texans, and Steelers, which are all key games.
Well, we take on the Browns in the middle of that too. So
I want to see this offense get clicking. And this is a perfect game to get up by 2 touchdowns, keep going. See what else the offense can do. See what other vertical routes we can work on. See how else we can get Worthy and D-Hop involved. Like, I don't want to see us slacking off like, we got a 1-score lead. Let's just milk it. No, let's see what the hell this offense can do for once.
Yeah. Again, I want to see, what can I say? I want to see continuity on both sides of the ball. I don't want to see mix up in coverages. I want to see, fluid, sound football. No, um, nobody should be missing assignments. People should understand where they are, what their job is. As we're getting to these later parts of the game, not to say that it could be a close game with Carolina at first, or we could blow them out the water. For us, I feel like it's fine tuning that engine, right? Because we're getting towards that back end of the game where the losing that Bills game kind of make all these games a little bit more tough. And you kind of have to dig deep as a team and start to understand how you're going to start to attack teams. The best thing about all this is we get healthier and as the weeks get by. So I do think there's opportunity for us to go out and perform dominantly, but there's also opportunity for us to fine tune engines, for us to be disciplined. They got some. The Carolina defense ain't just no walk in the park. You know what I'm saying? They do got some edges. They do got a corner. They got some guys that's going to be hungry to be out there and play. So I feel like just another sign from the offensive line who hasn't really performed well the last couple of weeks, in my opinion. So for me, I just really want to see the trenches just improve. I want to see us get to the quarterback. I want to see us have time with Pat. No confusion on the offensive line with blitz pickup and assignments. Those are the little things, that fine tune our offense going into the later parts of the year. I know what this team is capable of. I know what 15 is capable of. And I haven't really seen it, but I'm not asking for him to be an all-world guy. Um, and I really want to see it in January, obviously, but I do want to see him start to take those steps into preparing to, wear off a team and go down those long drives and be accurate, be on time, get that Worthy shit figured out, get that Kelsey thing figured out, start to include D-Hop. I understand that we got a new target, the Taquan Thornton kid, and they've been upscaling him a little bit, so we'll see what he can bring. Juju's obviously here. We get Isaiah Pacheco back here soon. So as we integrate the pieces and we start to go out through the later weeks of the season, obviously the games get more important. So obviously I just want to see the Chiefs continue to, build that script, continue to know where guys are going to be, how they're going to attack. And also, obviously rely on the greatness of 15. But, let's do it together. It's going to take everybody for this 3P. It ain't just going to be special plays here and there. It's going to be special plays and special communication, special everything from everybody. And the way that we do that is just start fine tuning that engine now. So that's really what I want to see. I wasn't too disappointed. Only thing I don't want to see is the early turnovers. We got to stop turning the damn ball over. We're not going to get anything accomplished with the other team having the ball and, going to the fucking celebration camp. I'm tired of it. Okay? Let's stop throwing interceptions and fumbling the ball. Um, and let's go beat up on some Panthers. All right. I don't really want to hear a cat hound, but I do want to hear it on some. Okay.
The other part of that is, I'll say something real quick. We keep talking about we don't want these teams to see like certain plays in our playbook and stuff, so we're not giving a lot away. We've got Hollywood Brown coming back at the end of the season. So there's going to be a whole part of that playbook that nobody has seen yet that we're going to open up in the playoffs. So I'm not worried about a team seeing 2 or 3 extra plays out of there to get a win. we've got Hollywood coming back. We've got Pacheco coming back. We've got the possibility, slight possibility, of Rice being back late in the playoff. So we've got different aspects that they haven't seen going into the playoffs. So I don't see why everybody's so worried about giving up and showing tells of the playbook, because Hollywood's going to add a whole other piece. I don't know. I know Trizzy was at camp with me. That offense was completely different when Hollywood was there. So when Hollywood's back, that offense is going to look completely different. So nobody is going to see anything compared to what it's going to be like week 17 and 18 when he's back.
Yeah, man, he's a good player.
I think two things for me. My message is one to Patrick Mahomes. Um, you know, we see him do great things in this league. We see him win Super Bowls, MVPs, play at a really high level. And I'll be honest, like I didn't even watch his presser. Most of the time, I watch his post game presser afterwards, and see what he says. I didn't watch it this week just because I'm sick of hearing the same song and story
every
uh,
week.
every week of I got to be better, I got to do this. I understand it, like and I understand you can't always play, you know, at your best and things of that nature, and you have your off days and stuff like that. But um, you just got to be about it sometimes, man. You know,
Yeah.
and I just feel like this year, last year, you kind of you gave him a little bit of a pass with how how the receivers were playing and what they were doing, drop balls and stuff, the chemistry and things of that nature. So you kind of you can't place it all on him. I think this year um, there are points and times where I just feel like Trizzy was speaking to the turnovers where you just doing too much, like trying to make too many plays or whatever. Like just go out there and play ball. Be you, be yourself. You say that you see them in the tunnel before the guys go on the field. Be a playmaker. Go out there, make plays. Do be yourself. Let your personality show, or whatever. And I kind of feel like that starts with you, 15.
Mm.
That
100.
you have to be the leader of that. And I feel like it it gets to a point where you can only say that, man, post games pressure so much before you got to start really showing it. So this week, yeah, man, this is a bad team. They're a bad team. They're not very good. Um, they got a young quarterback who's still trying to figure out things in this league. At this point in time, he's looked better these last couple games since he's been back starting. I know they went over there and got a big win in Germany against another. I feel like it's a bad team as well too in the Giants. So props to them. But at the same time, this team's not better than you. Um, and it gets to a point where I know we say, oh, we should beat this team by 2 touchdowns, and then the Chiefs go out and beat them
By a
19 to
field
13.
goal.
Yeah, or by a field, or we see Schrader at the end of the game kicking a 40-some-yard field goal. Um, yeah, that to me is like it's cool, and I'm glad you can be able to figure out ways to win. There's points and times where you just gotta show you're more dominant. You're the more dominant team. Be dominant. Go out and whoop a team's ass, man. It's plain as simple as it's kept at this point. The
Please.
Detroit Lions do it. The Ravens do it. Um, there's a lot of teams in this league that when they face teams that are better, that are worse than them, they just go out and take care of their business.
Yeah.
And I fully that's my expectation of this team, just because I know what they're capable of. They're back to back Super Bowl champions or whatever. I just think that this is one of those games where you really need to go out and prove your dominance
Start
to
the
the
party.
league. And it starts with your leaders: 15, 87, 95, um, 20. Who else? Drew Tranquil, Nick Bolton, George Karloff. Those guys, they all have to be better. You all have to
Yeah.
be better. You
This is
know,
a party starting game, baby. This is the party starting game. Week 11.
Yeah.
Week 11 for us. Party started.
You
I'd
know,
also have a couple big wins because we had an early bye week. We don't have the luxury of a late bye week to get our legs back. We need a couple games where we get a
That's
few.
why we need that 1 seed, man.
Yeah, that we need a few games where we get a few score lead, where we can give Chris Jones a little bit of a break. We can give Justin Reed a little bit of a break, Bolton, so that way we can go into the playoff with some people having some legs instead of completely worn out.
I gotta say, DG, that was very a true statement. That I feel like there's a lot of Chiefs fans that have felt that way, and some have kind of been holding back. So I think what you've said is great, but I kind of want to talk to not just like Mahomes, but the entire Chiefs team, right? Because obviously he's the nucleus, and Andy Reid's given the good play calls and everything. How about stop playing down to your opponent or letting it get to a moment where you have to play seriously for once this whole year? Like, if it's a one score game against the Panthers, I mean, yes, it's going to be a dub, but you're still going to have that inkling of like, when is it going to finally click in everybody's minds, right? Like, at least last year we had the Bears that didn't know what they were doing, and we had a huge win there, but that didn't help us propel to anything, right? It just kind of masked all the issues that would come back later that we figured out at the very end. With this one, it's just like, this team is better than what happened last year, and it comes to executing and getting in the right mindset and not just being like, oh, we're the Chiefs, we can get the dub.
Yeah.
I'm tired of that. I know we're not the Flash. We're not like Detroit. We're not going to beat people by 38 every day. We're not going to take on these like bottom. We had a tough schedule. We did have a tough schedule, regardless of people giving us revisionist history as to this not being a tough schedule. It was a tough schedule. Atlanta's a team. Denver's a team. Bills are a team. Chargers are a team. Ravens are a team. I can keep going. We still have the Texans. We still have the Steelers. We still have the Chargers again. Regardless of how you feel about the Raiders and the division, they still beat the Ravens, and they're a division rival. These are tough games. We have played tough games. This is probably the first game where it's like, okay, we should fucking fuck them up. We should fuck them up. But if it doesn't happen, it's going to be like, come on, man. Why do we keep doing this? And that's kind of where I'm at. And it's like, I know this team's better than what they're producing on the field, because when it matters and when it comes to huge clutch plays that we've seen all year, they fucking show up. So I kind of want that. And yeah, we've had a ton of injuries. Like, Rasheed's not on the team right now. Hollywood's getting back. Pacheco's getting back. We still haven't seen Omenihu. We lost Jalen Watson. It's Juju's in and out of the roster. Like, it's been a rough year, and yet we're still 9-1, but we still expect better quality wins than what we've been producing. And I think at some point it's just like, can we not be the win by one score team?
I think that's the great part of this team this year, is that they got an opportunity. As you've seen, other teams in this league have kind of peaked, and I don't think this team has fully peaked yet into what they
100%.
can fully potentially be. Um, and of course, uh, being a fan and of this team, you realize you have a target on your back every game. You're always going to get everybody's best shot. Being the back-to-back Super Bowl champions, everybody's going to treat this game a little differently. They can say what they want. The Bills can say what they want about it just being, oh, it's just week 11 or whatever. They wanted that game more than that.
100%.
Like, and I understand and I get it, because if I was in that position too, I'd be the same way. You want to go out there and prove you can beat the best. And so you're going to get everybody's best shot. Panthers are not going to be any different. Don't matter what their record is or whatever at this point in the season. They're going to come out and they're going to be ready to play and be ready to try to virtually shock the NFL world. Because a lot of people aren't going to pick them to win this game. Most fans aren't going to pick them to win this game. So they're going to have a lot to prove. But like I said, this is one of those games where you need to just go out and prove that you're more dominant. You're the better team. You're the better roster. You have the better players. You have the better quarterback. You have the better defense. Go out and prove that you're the better team.
I want to see us win 4 quarters for once. I don't think in one game this season we've won more than 2 quarters of a game.
Yeah, that's
I think
true.
we haven't scored a single point in the third quarter since the Ravens game.
Yeah,
And I think that's wild.
Like,
and I think we're struggling to score in the first quarter too.
if we had a game this season where we got to the fourth quarter and we felt comfortable,
We're good on even numbers, not on odd numbers, apparently.
I've been comfortable. Is there a game that I have been comfortable in the fourth quarter?
I haven't.
I mean, I guess the Saints, because
Saints,
because
The
you
Raiders-
still had the lead.
the Raiders
Even though-
game too.
Yeah,
Even though they got that garbage time touchdown,
yeah,
that game
you're
was
right.
over. Like you knew that game was over. You know? But yeah, outside of that, those two games have been the only two games that you kind of felt like.
I think we had a 2-score lead against the Ravens, and then it went to the end of it. Came to the last play.
Yeah, you were up 10, but you still knew
Yeah.
that was
That game was not.
that wasn't enough, especially against Lamar Jackson. You definitely knew that wasn't enough.
So, yeah, just the introspection that we're getting through this game is just like we know you're the best, so execute like it, and don't make silly plays, and just get a dub, and just one good win, even against a bad team, just calms everybody down, including the players, because I feel like they also there's a little bit back in their mind that they are getting drained by having to execute in these close games when it matters, So just get a chill dub. And I know that's impossible for
It's not impossible.
Chiefs.
You just need to do it.
Yeah.
It ain't
I think
impossible.
I think this is gonna get the party started, man. For some reason, I just feel like this is gonna be that click kind of that we had in that Bengals game last year. I
100%.
think I think this is gonna be the week where we see them actually put it all together. Well, I'm hoping so. But it's just something strange with that deeper end of week 10, week 11, week 12 with this team. Where they just find a rhythm. So I know that 15 understands the moment more than anybody does, and the defense, Chris Jones and Nick Bolton, all those guys who've been here, they understand the moment, more than anybody does, more than anybody could write about. So I know those guys know that this is important, not just, to be dominant, but, to be, to go out and look like a great team top to bottom. And that starts with the leadership. That starts with the tone you set on the field as leaders. Rallying behind the young guys. Andy Reid trusting his guy, and then 15 trusting the other guys. Getting your stars involved, and playmakers making plays, and everybody coming together as a team. So, football is ups and downs. Of course, it won't be perfect, but I do think I don't think that we played incredibly horrible last week. I just thought we was bad, taking advantage of the moment, and we let the moment get away from us. I would like to see us stay in control of the moment, be disciplined. Understand. I think we were good, kind of situationally, and wanting to attack and understanding what the defense is doing, understanding what offenses are doing. But let's go out and execute as a team this week. Let's make sure we clean the little things up, keep fine tuning that engine. Going into this December football is going to be important. How we writing scripts and how we getting guys involved, because soon after that, the real dance begins. So we definitely want to be trending in the right direction when that comes.
Yeah, I also think this is a game like last week. I thought it was gonna happen just because of the kind of matchup you had going into that week. But I think this you gotta just let Xavier Worthy go. Just let him go. I know I know you probably don't want to show everything and this but it comes to a point. It's getting too late in the season now to where um, you gotta have some explosion. It's something to give some teams some fear or whatever. Because otherwise, I feel like teams now are they kind of don't fear you just because they know you don't have that explosion in your offense, and that's the reason why you brought this kid here.
Right.
To make sure that teams still have that fear in you. And I think early on in the season, a lot of people were kind of skeptical of it because they wanted to respect his speed. And I think the
Yeah.
last couple of weeks, knowing that we went away from him and not haven't really got him involved like that, I think a lot of teams now are looking at you saying, well, they ain't gonna throw him the ball no way. So why should we be afraid of it? We can kind of play the way we want to, be aggressive at the line, press man, and lock the rest of these guys up. So especially knowing with the deficiencies we have at the tackle position at this point in time. So I think this week you really need to go out and just throw it down there, man. He's down there. Give him the ball. Get it to him out of his breaks. Don't be late with it. Hit him in stride. He's clearly showing you that he can track the ball. He's showing you that he can handle the physicality. Last week, I know a lot of people were skeptical of that, of how his body was going to hold up in this league. He's showing you that he can make the tough catches and do things of that nature. So just get him more involved. Get him the ball, man. Use that speed. Use him as a weapon or whatever, and make some put some fear back into some teams.
100%.
Absolutely.
All right. We got a lot, and now we got the Week 12 slate. Obviously, tomorrow's going to be a division game against the Steelers and Browns, but there's also a lot of interesting games. I think looking at it, I'm very interested in the Bears Vikings, regardless of how the Bears have been playing.
Get a good Monday night game.
Big Monday night game that could determine a lot of things, especially maybe making it easier on us or making it even harder and more stressful for us. But
I think the Steelers might lose
to the Browns,
To the Brown. Yeah, that game
It-
tomorrow is supposed to be kind of sloppy. I think Cleveland's getting a lot of rain coming in, so
short
could be
week
a
too.
short week, sloppy game.
Now it's carrying that defense.
Mhm.
And I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Nick
Yeah, a
Is
lot
Chubb,
of
Jameis
Nick Chubb
Winston
got
after
up.
LASIK surgery looking pretty
I know
good?
Mika Fitzpatrick is the one who hurt Nick Chubb too.
yeah. There are a lot of good games on this slate, man. 49ers travel to Green Bay. Their backs are against the wall at this point.
They are literally on
Season,
must win for the regular,
yeah,
just
season
for
on
the
the
rest of the
line.
way.
They got to win for the rest of the way, not just this week.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But
Uh,
yeah,
uh,
I don't know, man. It's gonna be tough for them. But
Especially,
I figure like this got to be one of those Christian McCaffrey games. It
yeah,
got to be. It better be
they
to be
gotta
on
get
my
them more
fantasy
involved.
team, and I'm tired of this shit. Wait, I need a game, Christian. You looking at
dude,
me, CMC?
the
I need a
40
game.
after 10 games, they are last in the division, with the Cardinals being the first,
Hmm.
and Rams are playing better. Seahawks are going to be a tough out regardless, and Cardinals might be having the best Kyler Murray season we've ever seen, and he's playing. He's sneaky MVP, I feel like, but no one's really talking about it. It just depends on how they finish. But he's having a great season. Obviously, Ravens Chargers is going to be a huge Monday night game. See how the Ravens bounce back after that disappointing loss to the Steelers, and how if the Chargers are going to charger. That's literally like, because they almost chargered that Bengals game. They almost charged it real bad.
Look, I got off. Of course, our game ended. I was on Kingdom Cast for the post game show,
Shout out to
um,
Kingdom Cast.
and I literally said to them like, them having hardball now, I don't think that charging thing will happen anymore or ever. I think he kind of keeps them away from that, and they absolutely proved me wrong. Like I don't know what happened, but they absolutely let the Bengals back into that game. For some reason, they were up 27-6 at one point. Um, and Bengals, obviously, is as good as that offense. Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase have been playing absolutely phenomenal, like out of their
Right.
minds or whatever. So
And the
can't
Bengals are
really
on a
put
bye.
put them on blame for them right now. But those guys they've been special this year. But that defense for the Bengals has been bad.
That
Bad. Outside of Trey Hendrickson, that defense has been bad.
And they're one of the worst situational teams in the league right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Chargers obviously ended up charging again or whatever. I think Justin Herbert, early downs, especially using his legs and running, I think he got a little too aggressive with that and ended up fumbling, let them back in the game or whatever. Fortunately enough, though, they were able to hold them off and win. Did that game go to overtime?
No, I think it and in regulation, but it
Yeah,
was a last second score by
yeah,
JK.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, the Bengals had a Hail Mary chance, and T. Higgins had the ball in his hands.
Yeah. Yeah, I almost won it there then. But yeah, man. Yeah, rough season for the Bengals. RIP to their season at this point in time. I don't,
Tough.
I don't know if they're gonna be able to get back in it. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But a lot of good games still on this slate as well too. Lions and Colts to me it really intrigued me, especially after the Colts' big victory in New York. Anthony Richardson coming back after all the drama or whatever, and
Almost
being
like
able
it
to put
was
them
an
to
overreaction, DG.
slightly. I think that from the Colts perspective, they did the right thing as far as sitting him and saying, "Hey, look, as a leader of this team, you can't go up on the podium and say stuff like that, man. Like you gotta lie at this point. You know, say you were hurt, say anything.
Hold a
Stomach,
hammy for a
yeah,
second.
something. You had to throw up, you had to piss, something, anything other than you were tired.
Yeah,
You
not
know,
only that, he needed it to change his mindset too.
hmm
First round pick, you're the incumbent starter. There's nobody challenging you for a spot. It just seemed like he had no motivation. Okay, we're losing. I'm tired. I'm going to come out. No, you want a quarterback that's going to go in there and grind. That's going to want to be in there. Wants to have the ball in his hand every snap. Even if you're down 14, you want that quarterback with the mentality like, look, I'm going to lead this team back. If you've got a quarterback that's like, I'm tired, I'm going to go sit out, you're going to have other players that are like that. So I think they did that. He needed a mindset change, and hopefully that gave it to him.
Yeah, I think it did. He absolutely played a lot better in New York on Sunday. He destroyed DJ Reed. I really hope DJ Reed is okay because he absolutely took that man's soul on Sunday. Shout out to DJ Reed. Hopefully he was able to recover from that this week. But yeah, like I said, a lot of good games. I'm really intrigued to watch that game as well too. Um, yeah, week 12. It's a couple teams that's on bye. I feel like that kind of take away from the schedule a little bit. So the schedule may be a little lackluster, especially with the early window of Sunday. But looks like we'll get a little treat in the back half of the schedule. Niners, Packers, Seahawks, Cardinals, and Eagles and Rams too. It'll really be a good Sunday night game as well too.
Hell yeah. So I think we're gonna end it there. Obviously, we're gonna look forward to the Panthers and Chiefs game. I'm gonna give my score of 31-14 Chiefs win, just so that we can put it into existence that we can win by double digits.
What about you, Tristan?
I'm gonna go 41 to.
Go ahead, Corey.
No,
41 to 7. Oh, 17.
41-17.
Okay.
I say we hit 30 on the dot, 13.
Hell yeah. And on that note, oh wait, did you give a score? Crap.
I hate predicting the score because I feel like it holds me to it. I'll say 27-16, and I think my big prediction is I think Xavier Worthy has his first 100-yard game.
Let's go. Love that. All right, guys.
First one.
That worked for me too. Either one, it don't
As
matter.
long as one of them happens.
One of them has to have a 100-yard game.
Cool, baby.
So, guys, thank you so much for joining into the live stream. If you missed the live stream and you're listening to this on the airwaves, you're obviously listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. We're here every Monday and Wednesday on Twitter for the Spaces, hosted by Ethan, by DG, myself. or any members of Chiefs Kingdom, because it is powered by Chiefs Kingdom. We are all for Chiefs Kingdom. And we're going to be back here on next week on Wednesday or Tuesday. It really just depends on how our Thanksgiving is lining up. But we'll go through that and we will let you know in due time before it comes out. But guys, I'm going to take this off. We're going to sign out. How about those Chiefs? Trizzy, I know you usually end with a great positive note for Chiefs Kingdom. You got anything for him?
We lost to Buffalo and woke up the 1 seed. Fuck the ops. All right.
Still everything in front of you, man. Still got
It'll be
100.
January in no time. All right. Calm down.
Still
Let the
control
boys
your
work.
destiny.
Still control your destiny. Have a happy Thursday, Chiefs Kingdom. And don't forget to tune in Thursday, loud and proud, baby.
Let's go.
I put it all on my shoulders. Give 100 till it's over. I told you.